Hi, Emma. Thank you so much for having me today. I am so excited to talk all things offers and sales. It is going to be a really fun time. So hang around if you're interested in learning about premium offers and how to close with confidence. I'm Michelle Terpstra, and I am a sales leadership mentor and motivational speaker. And I absolutely love making people feel confident in selling their offers, but also confident in making an impact. So it's not just about the money, it is also about the impact. And it is a huge difference between an offer that sells through and does not. And I absolutely love talking to your community because I know that it is packed with some of the most talented coaches and service providers. And so I'm excited to dive in and help everybody sell some more.
It would be shocking to me if anyone in my network has not heard me talk about Michelle, because Michelle is someone who's been a mentor and a leader to me since the beginning of my business. Her program, Sales Success Lab, changed the course of my business when I was ready to give up. If you haven't heard me talk about Michelle before, this is the Michelle. I love working with her. The friendships I've made in her groups and through her networking events have been a game changer to my business, because some of them have been my biz besties now for close to 2 years, and we still keep in contact even if we don't run in the same circles. Like Brittany, I still talk to Brittany every so often, and she's
happy
doing something so different now, but it's great. I'm excited for you to share with us today, because a lot of people that are in my network, sometimes they want to work with me, but then they struggle to feel profitable or feel like they have the cash flow and sales that they need to focus on their operations. They're still like kind of panicking. What are some tips and tricks that you would say for sales to help get to that point, to feel like you're not drowning?
Yes. I think the key word is like stable sales or stable income, consistent cash flow. Like all of those things are really, really important. There's multiple ways that you can achieve that pretty quickly in your business if you're strategic with what your offers look like. So two of my favorite ways to strategically make sure that you have the stable income in your business so you can make investments to grow it is one, having at least one premium offer over $2,000 that you sell in your business, because it is so much easier. And I know this sounds counterintuitive, but it is a lot easier to sell something over $2,000 than it is to, get 1,000 people to pay you $20 a month in like a membership model. Now, some people might disagree with me on that, but hear me out. Okay. You need fewer people in order to sell a high ticket offer and to be profitable. If you are taking the volume approach, you absolutely can be super profitable with low ticket membership. But every single person I have ever worked with hits that first 10K with premium offers.
Yes.
And that is a really powerful statement. So if you're listening to this right now and maybe you're approaching the $2,000 mark, I want you to think about, like, even if you just added $500 to the next one, like how much more profit you could keep in your business. Because with coaching offers and service-based offers, like there is a very large profit margin when you start to sell premium high ticket. And this is where you're going to start to feel like the stable sales, consistent cash flow, all of these really, really important things. And two of my favorite offers right now is one, are VIP days. I think VIP days are absolutely amazing. So if you're a service provider and you're listening right now, like, and you haven't heard about what a VIP day is, it's basically taking something that you usually deliver over, a few week period of time, and you're blocking out a day. Someone essentially buys you for a day and you deliver the same thing. And you might be thinking, wait, Michelle, it doesn't make any sense. How can I do what I do in a month in a day? And you can when you learn, how to prep in with systems and things like that. And it really frees you up as a service provider. I take on really high-end consulting gigs that resemble that of like a retainer type of service job. And, it can take up a ton of time, and meetings encroach and things change and all the things. So if you're looking to spend like less time on deliverably, but increase profitability, I would consider doing a VIP offer. And then also, if you're a coach and selling something premium, like how can you make things easier inside your group program or your mastermind? Is there a done for you element that you could outsource to deliver for a higher impact? Can you offer sessions where you actually do the work together so things are completed? So these are just some ideas where you can start to feel more comfortable charging more so that your profit can go up.
Exactly. And that's something I talk a lot about in some of my posts, some of my other videos, is you don't need to always have someone on retainer to get results. And sometimes people aren't ready or don't need it, especially with ops. You don't always need someone in there every month. It's just, you can maybe need some strategy, or you need an audit, or you need, someone to check over. But there are a lot of different ways to have VIP days. Like I've done tech setups, I've done strategy days. Michelle does strategy sessions / days depending on where you are in your business. And it's kind of a nice way to meet different people where they're at in their business without feeling like I'm serving where your messaging gets all mixed up and you're like, I'm trying to talk to too many people. You just have offers ready. Which Michelle has a great way to help people with their offers. And she has what she calls the power of 3. I love that training. That was game changing for my business. Do you want to talk a little bit about the power of 3? Because I think VIP days fit that nicely.
Yeah. So it just simplifies your client journey and your ascension model. I find that most coaches and consultants really complicate the client journey. And so power of 3 simplifies exactly that so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. And then it also uses sales psychology to position the offer that you want to sell the most into the middle. So it's a really simple and fun way to create a profitable business with 3 core offers. And 3 core offers is really the magic number for most businesses. And the cool thing is that your marketing and your messaging is usually aimed towards the middle offer, but you'll find that people still either want more or less. And so it doesn't complicate your business strategy, which is why I really like it. And it is something that I have a digital course on, and I also go into more depth within the Sales Success Lab. And so it's a really beautiful way to create a very easy sales plan and strategy of offers for your business.
I also think when we talked about that and when you cover that module, it does also help your closing rate, which is a lot of people struggle. I was struggling with that too. And I honestly, when I started working with Michelle, I was barely making $2,000 a month. My highest offer was $2,000 a month. I didn't have low ticket offers. So I was still struggling to put together my VIP day at the time. It was hard to hit, or unimaginable for me to hit 10K months. And people kept saying like, oh, maybe this, or maybe another time. So closing rates are sometimes difficult for us service providers. And I feel like especially female service providers, because we don't want to come off pushy. So what are some tips that you have, or I know you have them because I've learned them, but like some things we can talk about to help increase closing rates, especially with people being nervous to buy right now.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing is confidence with delivering is, first of all, really believing in your offer. And when you really believe in your offer and you're super aligned with your offer, and I want to talk about that for a second, is that if you're trying to sell something that A, you don't want to sell, or B, you're not quite that confident in, it becomes really difficult, and it basically breaks up the energy in the sales conversation, and it's very, very difficult to close. So first thing is to be honest with yourself. Do I want to sell this? Is this aligned? Is this a true transformation? Why am I doing this work? And answering those questions will really, 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 really help you. The other thing with sales conversations in general is you have to approach it with a framework. Do not wing it. And I want to be really careful when I say this. A framework is very different than a script. And I hate scripts. I don't coach scripts. I hate scripts. Okay. So the reason why I hate scripts is because they are not flexible, and it is really, really obvious when you're using one. So I like to teach sales leadership, right? So sales leadership means that you can read, react, and you can be flexible in your sales conversations and your communications. That is when someone says, oh yeah, how much? I don't care what the price is. I'm checking out right now. When you are following a script and asking the same 4 questions that is on Google that everybody else is searching, that becomes a problem, right? So when you step into sales leadership and you can ask thoughtful, open-ended questions that see if truly you are a match, it creates an empowered environment where it's easy for that premium client to say yes, and you're eager to make the offer, because making the offer is a sticking point. Like after reviewing, I don't even know how many, like close to probably probably 1,000 sales calls over my career. Like
Yeah.
I can literally tell towards the end if the person's going to feel confident asking for the sale.
Yes.
It is like I can feel the buildup and I can see it in their eyes that they're just like getting nervous or whatever it can be. And so feeling super confident using a framework, so at least you know the steps to take and a way to approach that ask, practice it over and over and over again, you will be a very confident closer.
Yes, practice is definitely key. I still sometimes get nervous for the ask, but not as nervous as I used to. It's just like not even nerves anymore. It's like the excitement of like, we're going to have this conversation. I'm excited to work with them. It's a whole different energy than, oh my God, I hope they say yes. Like, did I prove my value to them? Just a different way to have a sales conversation that doesn't feel icky or sleazy. Those are some of the words that we've used and a lot of people use to describe sales conversations, especially in the DM, if it happens to be there.
Yes. And, the hey girl DMs are never going to go anywhere. But if we all stop responding, then maybe we have a chance, right?
I will admit that I respond, like a couple of people like DM me in the past couple of weeks and I was like, hey, I think you'd be great to I think you should go to this training that like my friend is giving because I get them so often. And my biggest pet peeve is the ones that are like, hey, I saw you're a mom. Do you feel this, and this? Or like they just assume and never ask, like, do you feel like overworked? And I'm like, no, I feel like a great mom. I have a great life balance because of my business. Thanks for assuming that. But here's a training that you can go take because I want to know how many closes or responses you actually get from this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like if we respond and say there's a better way, that's a fantastic way to do things. I mean, just yesterday alone, I got 3 people messaging me about sales training. And I'm like, do you look at my profile? Like,
they don't read it.
It's so crazy. But you know what? There's just a lot of technology now that like automates these types of things. And, the business owner is not the one sending those messages. No. It's all automated and it's, done in bulk. And, some of it is there is clearly some data behind it that makes it profitable or they wouldn't keep doing it, but feels totally misaligned for me. And so for me, I'd rather do quality over quantity. And if you do feel uncomfortable talking about like your value or how you can transform someone's life or business, I would really encourage you to lean on stories because that is the least sleazy, pushy way ever to communicate. And so if you can use stories, analogies, things like that, it becomes a lot easier to overcome buying hesitations, to accelerate the sales cycle and everything else that you need to speak confidently about how you help people. And, there's lots of different types of stories you can share. You can use your own personal stories, client stories to business and objectives and all of these things. So stories are a beautiful, beautiful way.
And I would like to add the automation piece, since that's like my area. There are ways that you can tastefully and personalize ways to do automation so long as you know your audience and know who you're talking to. But I'm also a huge fan of there's certain pieces in your process that should be done manually and done by you. And I always advocate for that sales piece to be that personalized touch because they're buying to work with you. If you're a coach or a service provider, they're paying to work with you. So you don't want to come off fake or sleazy. Like you said, you want to have really personalized automation and setting those up in a tasteful way that's aligned with your business and your process. So
100%. Like there's so many ways you can save time that are not bots reaching out to people for sales. So I would lean into Emma for all of that other stuff. Emma is one of the guest coaches inside Sales Success Lab, and she picks like a different tech topic and automation topic each month. And it's just like, I know everybody really, 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 really looks forward to that. But if you are looking to save some time selling, it's also just being transparent with your messaging. So like for me, I have one of my assistants helping me fill my upcoming masterclass, Rock Your Revenue. And so I had her go through everyone in my Facebook group and send out messages. Now, instead of pretending it's me, which it's not, I'm having her be truthful about it, right?
Yeah.
And it is just it's an invitation that says from time to time, Michelle hosts events. The one coming up is Rock Your Revenue. And if you're interested in having consistent cash flow in your business as a coach or consultant, we'd love to see you there. Team Michelle, sign off Britt. And the thing is like, no one's yelling at me. Everyone's reading them. lots of signups. And so there are ways you can save time without doing like a hey girl weird message that's assuming people have problems and all of this stuff, right?
Yes.
And so it's just being aware of when it's appropriate is so super important so that you don't come off as salesy or if you don't feel salesy, right?
Right. And you can if you're like watching this and you're like, I don't feel like I can delegate this or I can do this, there's ways that you can outline your process and create like guidelines of situations. It just takes time to sit down, brain dump a little bit, and putting those into the instructions. And one thing that I've talked about before, and I think people just need to be reminded, is that you're going to tweak it. It's going to be a work in progress. It's better to put yourself out there and learn what your audience wants and be in contact with them than just being afraid to send those messages, like you're saying, because you had to tweak those over time, I'm sure.
Yeah. And remember, if somebody is a member of your Facebook group or follows you and is active, like they're hoping they get an invite to something of value. So that's a whole mindset shift too, right? Because why are they following you, right? They're trying to learn from you or they like you or they're curious. So make sure like reframe and be like, oh, I want to make sure they don't miss out because, you know, the algorithm's tough or my open rate's not as much as I want on my email, right? Like sending direct messages is like a really beautiful way to do it. And it doesn't have to be like uncomfortable and weird and all of the things. So I just really encourage everyone to be brave and to talk about their offers because no one can buy from you if they don't know what you sell.
Right. Exactly. They don't know if you don't know they don't know what you're selling, they can't buy from you. And that also, I think, ties back into the Power of Three training, just because that's going to help you with your conversion rate as well. When you have it nicely outlined too, when you're on a sales call, or, you know, you have it outlined nicely on your website for people to find, you want to make it easy for people to buy from you and stop thinking they don't want to buy from, like you said, like they're following you for a reason. They want to hear what you have to say. Make it easy for them.
Please make it easy. Please, please, please. Right. And yeah. And yes, absolutely. When you have a couple of offers, you can always see which is the best match. And I always say, like, you know, a consultative sale, which is, you know, at the core of sales leadership, is making recommendations for how someone can get the best results based on their needs. And so stepping into that and making recommendations and leveraging your offers is a really beautiful and easy way to do so.
Yes. Keep a list of people that you can refer, that you trust, that you like. I've had plenty of sales conversations where I didn't feel aligned to work with them, and I've made recommendations to a friend of mine or an affiliate partner that I trust completely, not like a misaligned affiliate partner. Like Michelle is one of my affiliate partners. I totally believe in her program. I totally believe in what she teaches. I've gone through it. I've done it myself. I know it works. And if people are struggling with something or not quite there to work with me, I want to see them get there. It's all about making it beneficial for them. And they're going to remember you for that later.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be upset that you said no right now. They're going to respect you even more. It's okay to say no on those sales calls if it's not a perfect fit.
Yeah. And they might come back later, or they might send a friend. Like there's so many, you know, and that's a really a big topic and something I'm going to cover pretty heavily in my upcoming webinar, which is Rock Your Revenue, is approaching sales conversations with abundance, because people can smell abundance and they can smell scarcity. So which one do you want them to smell? Right?
Yes.
And this isn't like faking it till you make it. This is like truly owning the concept of abundance, because once you're really energetically aligned with that, it is such a huge difference in your ability to show up to not just in sales conversations, but creating your content in lives. Like every day you have to show up, so you better like it. Right? So find a way to feel aligned so you want to show up, because you will not build a successful business if you don't show up consistently.
Exactly. And there's ways to do it that aren't draining and, like you said, are in alignment with you and how you want to run your business. And Michelle has worked with a wide variety of people. So if you're feeling like, does my industry make sense? Does my business, does it make sense for my business? I highly encourage you to go to Rock Your Revenue, hear the trainings, or reach out to one of us, because I have been in a lot of Michelle's trainings. We've been friends I think I've been following you and friends with you since 2020. since lockdown. Because I
It's been
remember
a
I came to
while.
one of your first events that you hosted online, and I've been coming ever since. And I always learn things. It doesn't hurt for a refresher on sales training because you hit new levels and there's different things that come up at those levels. I think I've never not once gone back to a training that you've provided.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Emma. This was a blast. I'll see you soon. Bye, Lila.